So I've been contacted by a number of people this week just saying, oh, I wish I had a relationship like you do with the Holy Spirit. I wish I could hear God's voice like you do. And I guess this is a part of why I'm doing these videos. One, because God told me to, but two, I'm seeing like there is a hunger to know His voice, but not quite sure how to go about it. So that's what these videos are, just really simple, different ways to connect and hear His voice. A couple of things that I do want to mention is, one, I started this when I was 19, like just this hunger to know His voice and realize that He's speaking to me really was awoken when I was 19. And so I would chase after it and, you know, lean in and want to hear His voice. And sometimes I got it so wrong. You know, I really did hear Him wrong. Or it wasn't His voice at all. But they were also amazing lessons for me, and they were key in knowing His voice, because I was able to recognize, okay, that's definitely not God, and that's not how He speaks. This is how He speaks to me. So it's important to give yourself permission to make mistakes and get it wrong. God's won't be angry. He may have a giggle with you, but then you'll find that He'll show up and He'll be like, this is what I was saying actually, sweetheart. So you can relax and enjoy, and there's grace to make mistakes when we're leaning in and wanting to hear His voice. The other thing I want to say is, you can tell when God's speaking to you because it's of His character. So His character is good. It is full of love, and it's the perfect Father. And you know, sometimes He'll give us really simple strategies which we'll want to discount because we'll think it's meant to be complex, but he actually works in a lot of simplicity as well. And so if the voice that you're hearing is full of condemnation, shame, guilt, that's not God. So that's a good way even of just a filter. So even if there is a correction that God gives us, it'll come with love, and it's because He's shifting us into something new or has something better for us. So there's like this hope that comes with the correction. Whereas if the other voice is trying to correct you, it'll come with shame and guilt, you know, and then that's not God. So there are a few ways of working out, is this God or not? So something that I want to give you today, an activity that I love to do and I've found has helped immensely, is I'll just get my notebook and I'll write down what I'm feeling, or I might write down a question that I have for Him, but I just begin a conversation with Him on a notepad. And then I wait and I just wait for His answer. So I wait for what He's gonna say and then I write it down. So the way I do that is I just write down the first thing that comes to me and I'll just write it down, because God answers really quickly. Normally this, you know, you just want to keep going with the first things that's coming to mind and be courageous and write it down and just trust it's from Him. And so what you'll find is, as you write and write, you'll go, oh my goodness, God is speaking to me. This is Him here. The Holy Spirit is taking over and writing to me, and it's beautiful. And again, if you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, is that God? Just put it through that filter of who God is. Is this who God is? Because He's not full of condemnation and shame and guilt. Is this full of love and hope? And is there strategy here? Is He answering something? Is my heart like feeling incredibly loved? Like you can trust your spirit as well, how it responds to the words. So they're just a few ways. So first of all, practice. It's okay to make mistakes. Second of all, you know, practice hearing His voice. It's okay to get it wrong. It's completely okay to get it wrong, and actually God's going to use that to sharpen your ears in hearing His voice. Number two, put it through that filter of, well, does it line up with who God's character is? And number three, sit down, take some time today, write down a question you have for Him, or how you're feeling. Write that down And then I like to get a different colored pen to what I've written so I can see God's response to what I'm writing, but you don't have to. And then just start writing. Write the first thing that comes to mind, write it down, and you're going to find that God is actually speaking to you through the pen. So enjoy that and have a wonderful day. Mwah.